Last we left off, your first day in Bryn Shander was a grim one. You found out that the town was sacrificing people to Oral, the Frostmaiden, in order to attempt to stop the Endless Night. You also learned that Ogden has been attempting to save those who had been chosen, and offers a safe escape route to help them flee to other places when selected. Once the town had gathered, you happened to spot Torga and her lackeys come in through the alley next to you. One of them standing out to you more than the rest, dressed in not cold clothes, but normal clothes. Blue, high-collared long coat with no signs of being cold except for his piercing crystal blue eyes. As the name was being drawn, Whimsy made his move by mimicking the speaker Duvessa Shane's voice, claiming to have called out her own name from the drawing. The deception was quickly seen through, and Mum Amberscar was sent out into the cold, naked and freezing. Whimsy then took to saving her and taking her through the safe route to Ogden's cellar. We returned to Whimsy now heading upstairs to talk to Brendan and Sariel, and Quincy, who went to his room, sneaking out the window, unbeknownst to the rest of the group. What do you do? You know what? We'll pick up with Quincy since you were talking and you got cut off by your internet. What were you wanting to do?
I was going to the caravan, the company that fences stolen goods, and I was going to break in and see if there's anything worth stealing.
Okay.
Luck.
All right. Not being super familiar with the area, give me a perception check as you're strolling through the streets. You're walking out and you see that there are fires lighting the walk path. It's still dark as it was when you first came in, not having a day in Icewind Dale. No day cycle, just darkness at all times. You do notice, however, that as you're sneaking out this late, that there is colors in the sky, greens, blues, purples, pinks, kind of making that aurora borealis type effect in the sky, but it's different. As you're wandering the streets and you're looking, you can see not very many people out and about. The snow coming down and being blown in from the outside, creating lots of snow mounds. But the market's now empty. No carts to be seen. And unfortunately, you're struggling to see or find where their cart could be located. How late do you stay out into the night looking for it?
I'd give it an hour if I can't get it. If I can't find anything worthwhile, I'll just leave it.
Okay. Give me an investigation check this time.
There it is. Oh.
Yeah, starting to just looking around, you're realizing that you're just not able to gather where these things could be located. So you start to look closer into the signs on the walls, on doors, looking, and you come to. Let me see if I can. You guys are already on that map. I need to get back to it. Wait, are you on the Bryn Shander map or you're on the Icewind Dale map?
Yeah, the big one.
Let's get you back to Bryn Shander.
Excuse me. Sorry.
You're okay. As you're wandering through the town, you manage making your way all the way down south. And you find a cluster, of smaller buildings, each with a type of lock on them. It's different than all the other buildings that you've seen. You think that this is some sort of storage area, and looking around, you can see carts parked out front. None of them with any sort of indication of what might be in them. I mean, they're empty. The carts are. But there's no indication on each of the buildings. But you do find that this is odd. Maybe the merchants bring all of their goods here to this area and lock them inside these safe rooms to keep them, I don't know, out from the elements. But unfortunately, there's no sign of Torga or her goods, unless you were to go digging deeper into the lockpicking.
Yeah, I'll try my hand at lockpicking.
All right, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check. Also give me a stealth check, because I imagine you're trying to do this stealthily.
All your low rolls out now.
Tell me about it.
The first door that you come up to seems to be really close to a larger cart, and you manage to duck behind that while you're trying to pick this lock. But this lock, looking around, this one seems to be bigger than the rest. And unfortunately, just not able to pick it. You're digging, trying to feel, it just doesn't feel familiar to you on the inside. The levers and clicks that you would normally hear, you don't feel or hear them as you're trying to work. Unfortunately, you're not able to get it open in that time frame.
Well, if I can't get in, I'll make a note of where it all is. And if we're still here enough at night, I'll try again later.
Okay. How did you want to make a note, just like in a book, or did you want to put some,
just I mean, like a mental note
Okay.
of where they keep the stuff.
All right. Yeah. Heading back to the tavern, you're able to sneak back into your room without issue. Whimsy, you were heading up to talk to Barrand and Sariel.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
Finding, you can hear Barrand and Sariel kind of talking back and forth in their own attempt at a weirdly coded message. You hear a knock at the door, Barrand.
There's only one knock. Oh, bunch of knocks.
Somebody's really insistent.
Probably urgent.
And
Nah, Mr. Whimsy. I heard you went out in the
Open
cold
up.
to make sure that...
you come in. Wait,
Yeah,
to
we
be
should
the guy to
probably
just,
oil
like,
those
walk past
hinges.
you.
I could do that.
See, your nose is all runny from the cold out there.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cold. That
Colder
that
than a
woman-
Yeti's cave, I bet.
That woman almost died. She would have died.
What do you mean?
Would
All I
have
know
died
is if she had gone out there and stayed out there all night, there's no
Would have-
chance.
She would have been dead before she got to that thing if I didn't go after her. she made it back, she would have been dead. This plan, it's not going to work long term. The having that secret passage for them to come back through, not gonna work long term. It is a fast track to dead people. You have to do something.
Baron, you would know that when Ogden was telling you about the secret path, that he said that they were only able to save the baker's daughter. That there were 2 people that had gone out, and he's like, yeah, we've only saved a couple, and one of them was a baker. So he hasn't been 100% successful.
Oh. Ogden said that they hadn't been able to save everyone. No, not everyone had the powers that you had to go out and somehow be unseen. I was down there in the tavern, ready to go out there if he needed me. But he said that you went out.
Didn't know I went out. Just waited.
Oh, he didn't? Or did he?
He did not know I went out.
No.
Did anybody know that he went out? You went out?
Oh.
No. Trying to
Not
think.
even Bran. I just
Yeah,
told Bran to head back.
Yeah, I think he snuck around to the side and then
It was Misty Step and Invisibility, I think.
No, it was
Misty Step and Minor Illusion.
Minor Illusion for a snow mound
Yeah.
and constantly cast Minor Illusion to creep out there.
Really useful cantrip.
Can be.
Well, it's tough, It's a kind of conspiracy. We should probably keep our voices down because who knows how thick these walls are. But maybe it can be improved upon, but it's a risk. I mean, they could be discovered.
What do you suggest, Whimsy? That we go out and kill everybody who's in charge?
No, but this system can't continue. We have to find a
I
way.
agree, but the only way is to stop the goddess to go out north.
That would be one way.
Or
If we
why
can
don't you just
accomplish that in
improve the
next
system?
month.
I mean, it seems you've got some concerns. I don't know how the whole operation worked. Ogden told me a few things. Why don't you take it up with him?
I mean, we're not going to be staying around here. I think Cyril's right. I think the thing we need to do is go and put a stop to this. I mean, I'm with her all the way on that. But we can't stay around here, but we also can't leave it the way things are.
But we're strangers. We don't have any power here.
I have some
Oh.
push.
Yeah.
I mean,
good to hear.
I was willing to go out there myself to prevent somebody else from being chosen.
Now that was a bad idea. Very bad idea.
I appreciate that, and I think that's very brave of you, Sariel.
It's a very bad idea.
Well,
I think
I mean,
there are worse ideas, like, nothing.
I can't remember everybody's passive perceptions. Did any of you take like that alert feed or something like that allows you to have like a passive 20 freaking bajillion perception?
no.
13.
So
I have a 13.
I
Mine's
have
a
17.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
12.
but yeah, Whimsy, you haven't really suggested any ways to stop it either. You're just mad about it.
You're right. Right.
And I'm mad about it too. I think the
tired.
whole thing is ludicrous and ridiculous, and I don't think it's working at all. Like, it's not helping these people. It's not appeasing anybody. It's just an awful, awful thing. But I don't think we have the power to do anything about it right now.
Do you think, Baron? Think we can do? Do you think there's anything we can do? Do you
Could
think of
probably-
anything to do?
Give me a moment. I'm gonna look out the door and I don't know. I'm gonna try to actually like. How aware am I of other patrons staying here? Things like that. Like, is there a chance? Do I think there's a chance that somebody could be here listening in on our conversation at all?
You would know that, while Ogden's does have an inn as a part of his tavern, that he typically reserves the rooms for reputable people that he knows and that he trusts. It's not to say that somebody couldn't have a change of heart during these times, right? You do know that there are other patrons staying, but maybe only one or two. Give me, as you peek out the door, give me a perception check.
Made him paranoid asking about our passive perceptions.
I was thinking about it anyway, because it's just...
Yeah, it's inflammatory
Oh.
conversations.
So we're gonna go with your passive.
Yep.
Right.
Can't be too careful.
Yeah, peering out into the hallway of the upper floor, you don't see anything. The doors look quiet. Quincy, give me a stealth check for sneaking back into your room. Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, Quincy, you made sure to know the intricacies of the window as you were leaving to make sure that you would not have any issues getting back in quietly. Baron, being close to the first room before you head back downstairs to the tavern, you can see that it is still dark, but there are just a few lanterns that stay on throughout the night just in case, just to be able to see, but it seems calm down there too. You don't hear any rustling or anything.
All right. I think we can cut out the sabotage for now. But
So,
it seems that you have a concern about how things are being done, and maybe you should talk to Ogden about how they can do them better.
I'll put my
Going-
hand on Whimsy and be like, my god told me to go north. That's what we have to do to stop this.
I'm going to nod against the wall and slowly slide down while I'm sitting and go, just promise me do something. So tired, I'm sorry. I'm just worked up. Still getting warm.
Nah, why don't you go get some rest? We've got a whole moon cycle before the next one.
I'm gonna curl up on the floor and try and fall asleep.
In Baron's room.
Ulysses.
Eh.
Well, actually, no, we're in your room, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, because yeah, it's my room. I won't kick him out of my room.
I don't know whose room it is,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Gap, somewhat under the influence. No, I'm just kidding. Your character was I think went up to their room. We didn't really talk about what your character would do once they got there. Is there anything that you would like to do during the night before sleep?
No, I probably would have just went to sleep. Like it was late.
Okay.
Had kind of a long day.
Yeah.
A lot of events.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing comes to mind.
All right. Anybody else before we transition into the
Baron.
morning?
Yeah. Baron, he's kind of right. I understand the need for secrecy on these trails and stuff, but if they're too hard to find, then more people are going to suffer before we can put a stop to this.
I'm sure we can come up with some things.
Maybe hide some supplies, some blankets outside the gate on our way out.
Sure. It troubles me, though, what you said about maybe that's why the night's not lifting. But then I got to thinking what I'd say to Lady Devessa. And what are we if we start succumbing to what this god wants? When does it stop?
I mean, there are gods that are worthy of worship and following, and then there are gods that are not. And I don't think this god is worth the pain and suffering that they're asking of.
Why can't those other gods come and beat this god up?
I don't know. Maybe there's not enough faith in the area to give them their power.
Hmm.
The church was sad and lonely. It was just a woman's house.
Well, you know, we're a bunch of cutthroats, thieves, bandits, people with troubled pasts up here.
So maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need a light, a flame to show them the way.
Marthammer doing... That came out wrong. Like a nice hammer. You know, a reliable hammer. Not one that you'd hit somebody with, but one that you'd make like a nice bench that you could sit on and rest for a while there.
Yes.
Or a
and
flame. Or a flame.
I'll pat your shoulder and be like, yes. Yeah, you know, just a good god to come out here and help. But the gnome
Is there a
told
god
me,
of fire brandy?
I don't know. I'm still learning about all of the many, many gods and goddesses out there. So maybe.
Hmm.
But the gnome at the church told me.
Oh
to go
yes,
north.
what was his name again? Copper Bacher?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Knocker.
Typically.
It was Copper, Nab, and Knocker.
Copper Knocker. Aye.
Copper
And
knobber knocker.
he told you about this Macretus.
Yeah, up north, and he said he had a way to help. So, I mean, at least it'll be doing something instead of just waiting around for the next one.
Well, you realize we might have orders from Lady Devessa that we have to take care of as well.
I didn't consider that. But
That's
Whimsy's
why I
right.
said it.
This is just not acceptable. I mean, sitting
Well-
here doing nothing. I wish I could have helped. I just didn't. I felt so paralyzed.
Well, we've got like a month, right? Before the next.
That's out of character?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've got some time before the next one happens, so maybe that's enough. Maybe we can get it all done. Especially if we do it together. And not go running off in our knickers, killing ourselves for some...
Certain my god would have protected me. You know, I hear their
Maybe.
voices sometimes.
Their voices?
Yeah.
Does your god have, like, multiple mouths?
Well, it's a flame. It's a silver flame.
Do flames have voices?
This one does.
Oh,
Gives me hope. I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna solve everyone's concerns.
what does its voice sound like?
Sounds powerful.
Like my voice. Like big and deep and secure. Tough.
Kind of. It's just much more rumbly and otherworldly. I mean, you sound like a dwarf.
I am a dwarf.
I know. But they promised that we would be successful. That they'd give us the power that we needed to be successful. So, I have hope.
Well, I don't know what you're so worried about then. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, probably should get some sleep. It's very late.
Yep.
Pair your room's over there, yeah.
Good luck with this one.
He'll be fine.
You call if he tries anything, and Yeah.
Appreciate
If you
it.
need me to throw him out,
I appreciate it. Yes. Thank you.
just despicable, lying on someone else's floor. All right.
And I'll walk a pillow and a blanket over to him so he's not just on the cold floor all night.
Okay.
And curl up in my bed.
Thank you.
As you all settle in for the night, you find that this is a nice change of pace, warm, inviting. Contrast to the brutal cold outside. Whimsy experiencing at firsthand what happens when you're outside of these walls. Dreams come to you. Nothing in particular. And eventually you wake in the morning. There's some kind of commotion
Cutting
going on.
out
I'm cutting out?
a little bit.
Uh-oh. There's some commotion that's happening downstairs. It's not the sound of patrons. It's Ogden. You hear him cursing. Frustrated. But nonetheless, he doesn't come to retrieve you. What do
We
you do?
wake to this?
You wake up and, like, you might have woken up to him being frustrated, but more than likely you woke up on your own, and as you're laying there or going about your business getting ready for the day, you can hear
So we
it
got a long
happening.
rest?
Yes, everybody received the benefit of a long rest.
Well,
John
thank
cutting
God
out
I'm no
for
longer
everyone or just
exhausted.
me?
No, he's definitely
Oh, okay.
coming in and out for everybody.
Might have to kill the music.
I'm going to head downstairs when I hear something interesting going on. Can't miss the opportunity for a thing. I'm gonna thank you, Sariel. I can't believe I fell asleep here. I'm so sorry.
You know that you snore, right?
Yes, I've been told.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Quite melodious, but definitely a
Oh,
snore.
Thank you.
All right. Pack up my
Something-
stuff. Be ready to
something's
go. And then.
Something's happening downstairs. I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay.
Down.
Well, Whimsy. Word of
Yes.
advice.
Yeah?
Fire and passion sometimes gets things done, but sometimes patience does too.
Yes, I've been told that too.
So I think
I'll
in this
walk out.
case,
I mean, if you started saying something, I wouldn't.
yeah, just maybe
But you
practicing
are.
a little bit of patience might be okay.
Thank you. You're wise.
Am I still cutting in and out?
Nope, you're fine now.
Ugh. Okay. All right, yeah,
All right,
we'll
I'll
do
follow
without the
Whimsy
music for a little bit.
downstairs.
Alrighty. Heading downstairs. You notice that for a tavern place that normally serves food and drink, that there's nobody here yet. There doesn't seem to be any patrons. In fact, you're not even sure if it's been opened yet to the public. Looking around, you hear commotion still coming from in the back room.
Head back there.
Heading back there, walking into that familiar pantry area, seeing the cellar door already lifted. The rug kind of just draped down the back.
Head down.
You now hear Ogden while still cursing, sobbing a little bit.
I'm
And
following behind Whimsy.
as you're starting to come down the stairs, Ogden gets up and kind of wipes his cheeks and don't come back here. You don't want to
Mom
see
all right?
this. No, she's not. You did
was
everything you
stable
could.
last night.
She was indeed. I'm sorry. What was your name again, little one? Talking to you, Sariel.
I'm sorry. I mean, I can do a little bit of healing if I need some.
You should probably go back upstairs.
Again, I can heal if she's not doing so good. I can go out there and I can my magic gives me a little bit of
I'm
just a
gonna
little
place
touch
my
of the
hand
divine.
on you. Ariel, think she died.
They and Whimsy, I mean, you're both taller than a dwarf, right?
Just barely.
Looking over his shoulder, Whimsy, you see blood. And you see a lot of it. Blood.
What happened? I'm gonna walk past him and to look at it, to try to see what happened.
And as you're walking past, he's like, wait. And
And I'd be like, why didn't you get me last night? I could have stabilized her. I could have helped if she was.
I didn't know until this morning.
Didn't know what.
I didn't know that she was stabbed.
Stabbed. Whimsy, you didn't say anything about her being stabbed.
She wasn't. She was fine. It was just the cold. She was stable when we went to bed. This is not something that happened because of the ceremony. And as you're looking at the corpse, you see several deep puncture wounds in the chest area, chest and stomach. Give me a medicine check, or
Investigation.
you could do an investigation check if you wanted to.
I didn't hear what you said.
Am I cutting in and out?
Kind of.
Fuck.
I'll do investigation.
Either one. Okay. As you're looking in these large wounds, you've seen a little bit of battle. Like you understand what a slash looks like, and you understand that these were piercing marks. But a lot of times with piercing, especially a blade, there can be some jagged edges or some interesting marks. This seems smooth. And that's so weird. The puncture just seems circular in nature. Like the skin just kind of folded in on itself.
Don't.
And as you
Don't-
touch the wounds, even with kind of the blood leaking out, that spot seems cold.
Ariel, I don't think this was done natural. I think there's a touch of magic here. I am going to prestidigitate warm the wound and see if it can be warmed.
As you do, it does become warm. It doesn't stay cold.
Do I think that it was like smooth because nothing was pulled out, like it was maybe ice
And yeah.
melted inside of it.
With an 18 investigation and you coming to that conclusion yourself, I would go ahead and say yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I think it was shot by icicles. Those monsters that we fought. They shot icicles, or that you guys fought. I just watched. Um, shot icicles. I think one of them might have done this, which means things found the entrance to this tunnel.
The rest of you would probably be waking up during this time as well.
I'll just get on my knees and give her a little prayer to send her on her way to the afterlife.
I'm going to try and see if I can see any tracks or anything. Those things flew, didn't they?
Yeah.
They would not have left tracks. I'll see if I can see anything, maybe, just to verify if I'm correct.
Yeah, give a different investigation check.
Fine with that. Hey.
Nope.
Oh,
You don't get a different one.
Same one.
Yeah.
Looking around, this is a cellar, after all, and in cellars, it can become quite dusty. And as you're looking around, you do see several footpaths. But looking among the feet that you have here with you, one of them stands out to be looking different.
That,
a lot of the
maybe
people,
not monsters.
a lot of people continue to really wear their cold weather gear, or at least potentially even just their boots while they're inside. But you found a set of footprints that were just normal shoes, normal boots.
Somebody came in. I'm assuming it's coming from outside. Path comes from outside. It doesn't come from up the stairs. It comes from outside and goes back out.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn to Serial. Somebody came in from outside without cold weather gear on and walked back outside after stabbing her with icicles.
So you don't think this was the divine?
Oh, I don't think this was the icicles. I think this was that weirdo that didn't wear cold weather gear and was fine out in the cold. Remember?
I do remember him, but what would he have to gain from killing this poor woman?
Don't know.
And how would he have figured out where she was? Were you seen?
I don't believe so, but illusions aren't perfect. If you figure out that they're an illusion, you can see through them really easily. Most useful when people aren't looking for them. If somebody perceptive, intelligent enough was looking out, they would have spotted me. They would have seen it happen, and I think we need to find out what they had to gain.
Yeah. I mean, that would be something. If this tunnel's not safe, if it's been compromised, then the only safety plan in place has been compromised.
And as you're talking about that, I don't... What are we going to do then? If... We've got to find out who did this then.
We do, but we also need to not let anybody know that this happened. I'll start precipitation away the blood, and I'll be like, we need to let everyone know that she died of the cold. We need to cover up these wounds. I don't think setting everyone into a panic is the best choice right now.
Do you think we should just take her body back out to the snow and just let the ice take it? I know that sounds kind of calloused, but that's kind of what was going to happen anyways.
I think for your protection and for the protection of what you've been doing, yes. I hate it. I hate it so much, but if we can get people to believe that she died of the cold and not this,
These wounds are pretty obvious.
if you've got frozen fabric over top of them, no one will see them.
The fabric broken.
Yeah.
We're all down in the
She
cellar?
would have been naked.
But she was clothed once you got in.
Right. But if we bring her out,
you guys are waking up, so if you want to wander on down to the cellar trying to find where everybody's at, yeah, I said you would waken up but eventually and you're able to freely move about. If you want to come down here, you can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I imagine by now I would have been looking for everybody and have found them in the cellar.
Baron,
Yeah.
Quincy.
yeah.
I might
I
have started making breakfast for me and Gat.
I would have been looking for food and seeing that the basement was open, decided to check it out.
Okay. Anybody that wants to now be a part of this conversation in the basement finding this.
Yes, but Whimsy, she could have been attacked by something out in the cold.
Okay.
That's
Right,
a plausible enough stretch.
No,
Suppose-
nobody's going to go looking for the body out there. If I take it out
Right.
and the snow's going to cover it, probably animals, if they can get there before it's frozen solid, will probably eat it too.
And at least she can help nourish something else.
Spoken like a true ranger, Miss Sarah.
Learn from the best.
Going to
I
blame
like what you
anyone who
said.
comes down.
Yeah, I like what you said, Mr. Whimsy. I think it's that eyesight freak we saw.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
turn
We could
to.
always. Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
Nope.
I was going to say.
Speak, Josh.
I was going to say. I'll turn to the innkeeper and she's like, I bet you wish you took us up on that offer. She'd have been far away and safe by now.
I'm just gonna look at you and be like, really? Really?
Well, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you'll always repeat them.
We could
What
always
lesson?
burn the body.
I think that'll be more noticeable.
Could be pretty suspicious. Well,
Yeah.
how?
Throw her in the fire.
What time is it?
For your input.
It's morning. It's
But
it's
it's
hard
still
to tell.
dark out, right?
It's always dark.
out.
Yeah.
Um,
So, I guess, well, the faster we do this, I think the better.
Don't we have
Oh.
to check in with Dusa?
um,
Yes, Whimsy.
this is the guy is he the was did he sorry did Bran tell us about this guy or just the person he was with?
He had just said that that was Torga and her lackeys and
Speaking of Brand, have you seen him?
I have not seen him yet. He
uh
might have ran off.
Gat, you were gonna say something.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
back
going
when
to say
Josh
we
cut
could
you
just
off.
throw the body in the fire.
Oh. Okay.
But
Cremation
that's-
is very common where I come from in my church. It brings with it a certain smell that's
But
pretty noticeable.
I'll tell you, that's if someone dies of natural causes here within the town, that's sometimes often a path that they use. It's fuel.
Say we bring her back outside and we do it quickly.
The ground's too hard to dig a grave, so oftentimes it's
No, cremation is definitely preferable to what we're proposing, but I don't think that the cooking fire is hot enough. And again, it creates a certain odor that people.
How often do people
Notice.
get cremated around here?
I don't know. They don't really run out and tell tell everyone there's no town crier for it. But a city of only 1,200 people, I'd probably say once or twice a month.
I mean, I can do a little fire magic, and I know Serial is quite fond of the fireballs.
Oh, my flame's not that powerful. Not yet, anyways. But yeah, no, I think that it brings suspicious upon the if we just take it out and let it feed the wildlife. I think that's what she
Then,
would have wanted anyways.
Yeah, let's
then
do
we
that. Maybe
let's
take
do it.
our concerns to Lady Devessa about Torga, and maybe that'll give us an honorable excuse to go rifling through that group,
We'll be right back.
pick out those bad eggs.
Definitely.
Baron, you said you wanted to take her too?
Not her. I think he wanted to mention Torga's practices of getting goods
Oh,
To
okay.
Lady Devessa.
to
Okay.
Devessa. So Devessa will send us on a track to basically double down on our quest log.
Okay.
I followed you there.
All right,
It's the code.
who's coming out with me? I guess I can do it myself.
No, I'll come with you, Baron,
Where are you
in
going?
case we run into trouble.
Are you going to go to
We're
Duvessa's?
gonna
No,
no,
they're
we're,
gonna
we're
go
taking
outside.
the body back out.
Yeah,
Like a
as
mile
you say
outside of
that,
the town.
Ogden, no, I got it. And he's already pulling up a sled and like this large, almost, I don't know, like a white colored blanket. And he kind of rolls her up onto the sled and covers her with the blanket and kind of tucks her in. I'll take care of it. It won't be too much trouble. She died
It's
on
not too
my
much.
watch. It's my responsibility to take care of her. And he finishes putting on his cold weather gear that's kind of hung conveniently down in the cellar. And as he's pulling up his hood and strapping on his goggles, I think the place is going to stay closed for a couple hours today. I don't really feel like dealing with it. So, and he kind of reaches into his pocket and tosses you the key, Baron. When you walk out, make sure you lock up behind you.
All right.
And then starts pulling the sled out into the long, dark hallway.
I'll
out to the
finish cleaning
outside.
up all traces of the blood and everything in his cellar because that's not nice to leave a mess.
Okay.
I'll help you. Then I'm going to go looking for Bran.
I'm gonna go make breakfast.
I'll help.
I'm gonna go eat breakfast.
Yeah, as you look
I'll
around,
help.
you find your standards. You're able to find and make some
I
like,
imagine Serial's a terrible cook.
yeah,
Everything's a
eggs,
little bit overcooked.
like an oatmeal, like some sort of porky fat, probably bacon. There's not a big variety, but it's to be expected when your only real source is imports and what you can gather in the cold. So, but you're able to eat sitting down. The blood cleans up relatively quickly.
Can I take a little flask of firebrand?
Yeah.
Or firebrand?
Fire brandy, yeah.
Yeah, I want to take a little bit to take with me.
If I see him doing that, I'll probably grab a small flask too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's Not any there's not any flasks that are just kind of sitting around. So you'd have to already have a container on you. But I'm sure you guys have some sort of skin or
Oh,
something.
they just use their water skins instead
Yeah.
of.
Have a
Yeah.
water skin.
Yeah, put a few drops of that into your water skin.
Well, I feel like with fire magic, we're not going to have a whole lot of trouble finding water out in the wastes.
I might just fill my water skin with fire brandy if nobody stops me.
Why is Whimsy?
That's a bit much.
I think you should donate
Okay.
some coin for the drinks that you're stealing.
I
will
think you
do
can
that.
pay for it at least. I mean, a bit is fine. It's not like it's the reserve, but
I'll drop.
it's still.
I'll drop 10 gold on the.
Oh, that's a
band
lot.
I'm taking this from.
Yeah, that's definitely sufficient for I mean, I don't know how big your water skin is, but I can't
Well,
imagine
it says that
it's-
my water skin weighs 5 pounds.
5 pounds of whiskey.
4 pints of liquid is what it says it holds.
4 pints?
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Whiskey,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you might not necessarily be being as generous as I previously had thought.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, but
I don't get why Whimsy's acting so drunk. All he's been doing is drinking from his water skin.
Right.
right.
I'm not
Well,
gonna-
now we'll go get you another water skin, and everybody stay close to Mr. Whimsy because he's got the goods.
Right, and then I'm gonna go head out and see if I can find Bran in the inn. Hopefully.
Okay.
Did you tell that scoundrel about all this?
Oh, he didn't know anything about this. He didn't know where I went. I just told him to head back here. Himself a room.
Then where did he go?
Well, we'll find out.
I don't like it.
How do you look? Do you just call for him, or
If I don't am in the main room, I will.
We never saw him come in, right?
I don't
We
think any of
didn't-
us were noticing.
None of
We're
you were
looking
looking for him. Might even start knocking on doors. Spend maybe 20 minutes looking
okay,
if I can find him.
knocking on doors? Excusing the ones that you know that your group was already in. There are only a couple others, maybe 3 or 4 more rooms. Knocking on the first one, you don't get a response. The second one, you hear a groggy older gentleman, not Bren. And then the other 2, again, no response coming from them.
Are they locked?
Do you try to open the door?
If I didn't get a response, I'll at least try. I won't try hard if they're locked.
Okay. Yeah, as you jiggle the handle, the ones that you didn't get a response from, the first one, I take that back. The very first one that you didn't get a response from, as you jiggle the handle and you open it up, you look and see that it is unoccupied. But the other 2 do appear to be locked. But no response from within inside.
Okay. Doesn't look like he's here. Well, he's a dead man. Okay. You guys need anything from me before I head into town and give myself an hour to find him before I start thinking about how helpful he's been?
Well, if you're gonna take an hour, if anyone else has any other errands to do, they'd best take care of it.
Oh, I got that armor I gotta get sized. Chris was supposed to help me with that. But Baron, if you're free.
That's right. Maybe I can finally, since we're not on a job and in a safe place, I can actually help you out with that. Fire and passion is one thing, but sometimes patience really sees things through. I'll help you with your armor. Mr. Whimsy, that gives you some time to go about the town looking for your
Favorite
charge.
friend.
And then we can go see Lady Devessa and make a plan for confronting those scoundrels.
I'll run upstairs and grab the butchered piece of leathered armor that I have and run back downstairs and hold it out to Baron.
That's very good. Now, why don't you go back up there to get my tools? They're in my room.
I'll run back up and grab your tools.
And now, why don't you go in the back and pour me a little bit of fire brandy? I work best with the.
Yeah, it's like an eager child. It's like, okay. And then I'll just
Alright.
hover while you work on it.
Mr.
Well,
Guy,
actually,
Mr.
if
Quincy.
you remember, you have to be wearing it while they're working on it, because they're fitting it to you, or at least the start, right? That's what Gat had you do. Gat and Quincy, what are you going to be? Yeah, no, I'm talking about Gat, the turtle.
Now, yeah. But
Yeah,
Chris
Thanks
was
for
going-
clarifying.
Yeah,
The turtle guy.
yeah, because she said grist. Gat
Yeah, yeah.
and Quincy, what are you guys going to be doing?
I was just gonna hang out, stay
Oh.
warm,
Okay, yeah, just
and-
gonna hang
and,
out and watch.
watch Baron work his
If
magic hands.
If I notice that you aren't doing anything, I might ask, you want to help me with some hacking? I know you're phenomenal at that.
Tracking. You're muted.
Muted.
Oh, I didn't realize you were talking to me. Yeah, I could do some tracking. I've been known to track animals, never humans, but I imagine it's similar.
Thanks. I would love the help. I'm gonna head back to the gate. And if I spot anyone along the way, anyone that I pass along the way, I will stop and ask, and I will minor illusion an image of him with the makeup, and ask them if they saw him last night.
Okay.
As we're heading to where I know he was.
You're heading over to the east gate then, right? Quincy, what'd you say you were doing during this time?
I'm gonna hang on, just to make sure. I'm gonna take about if they've got about an hour, I'm gonna take about 40 minutes, walk around the market, and if I can see I always forget the name, the fences caravan.
Torga.
If I see Torga's caravan, I'm going to mark it so that when I go back to the warehouses, I can identify which one belongs to her.
Okay. I'm actually gonna say, as you're all kind of walking out, if you're going to look for the mysterious man with the lack of cold weather gear, as you're headed in towards the market, you see Torga's caravan, and sure enough, her bodyguards are there too, including Cephik. Fuck, I didn't mean to give you his name, but he'll give it to you freely.
Heard nothing.
Including the man that you're looking for, kind of resting on the back of the cart, and he seems to have some cup or some bowl with hot liquid inside, because you can see the steam coming out, and he's just kind of sitting there. Quincy, as you instantly see Torga's, do you still try to go over there and mark it, knowing that it's got guards on it?
I'm trying to think of a sort of way I can have me knife, my wrist, because I just need something I can identify later. No, if it's fully guarded, I'll just try and memorize what it looks like. try and commit it to memory.
Okay. All right. Quincy and Gat, what do you do seeing that the person that you're looking for is just kind of hanging out in the back of the cart with Torga as she's peddling wares?
Well, my first time tracking was a success.
Whimsy.
What
Alright.
what did we want to do with this person?
So we found him, right?
Yeah, found him
Yes.
very quickly
Okay.
into the search. Just in the
Okay.
in the market. It's still dark, but there are a lot of fires going in the market
Oh.
square.
He's in the market. Sorry, who is he with?
He's with Torga. So Torga's
Okay. So
caravan
he
is
went
kind of
back.
sat up, and yes, um, you can see people coming up and browsing Torga's wares as she has them set out onto the table in front of her.
All right.
You even see a stealthier individual. Just by that I mean like a hood up, and coming up behind the table, not looking like her typical bodyguards, coming up and kind of whispering into her ear, and you can see her rummaging around for something and then handing it to him sneakily before he wanders off again. So she is peddling her wares.
Am I able to deduce what the item was swapped?
Give me a perception check.
I make one too.
Sure. Yeah, you guys are all looking.
Perception, you say? Oh, I don't have rolled beyond 20.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
Did it beat a 22?
Let's see. 25. Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 18, and then I have a +7.
Nope, you're fine. Whimsy, looking, you can see that she is making moves, but you're unable to deduce what was given. Gat, however, you're able to get the drop, kind of moving your head just enough to be able to get the right angle, and you see it's just a rolled up piece of parchment.
Okay. Can I tell if it's like just a note or like a scroll, like a magic scroll?
I'm gonna say a magic scroll typically is handled with a little more delicacy. So you would assume that this is some sort of note or information or something.
Okay.
I am going to start walking over to Bran.
Bran's not there.
Oh.
I thought you were
Okay.
looking for the killer.
Oh, I was looking for Bran.
Yeah, he's been looking for
Oh.
Grant the whole time.
For
So he was
fuck's
like,
sake.
"Oh, he went
That's
back."
why
Well,
I
I
was a little
even
confused.
I even described like the man in the okay.
Which is why I was confused. I'm like,
yeah.
wait, I found him?
No, I thought you were
it
looking
was
for
Bran.
okay. I guess so you see that and make note of it, but don't actually approach. Yeah, Bran's not there. Bran's not there.
Okay.
So you continue your search elsewhere.
Okay,
We'll
yeah.
allow your investigation or your perception rolls to stick. Going throughout the rest of the Bryn Shander, you don't see him. It's hard to tell. Like you ask some people, you stop and you ask them, if they're familiar with the face, and some of them might give it a little bit of more of an inquisitive look, but they're not familiar enough with it. And really, a lot of people here, unless they see them inside of a tavern, they might live next to somebody for years without knowing what they look like, given
Was in
that
front of me while I was performing in front of a crowd, so you know.
that's true. But even then, they still had cold weather gear. Like, a lot of
Doesn't he
those
like
facial
disguised a bit
features.
too?
Yeah, but even if I'm imagining if he's doing
Oh, he
an
was like
illusion,
describing
he's
the.
probably describing the what he
Using the
looks like.
minor illusion face with
Yeah.
with the makeup.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't find anybody that's seen him, and you don't see him.
all right.
And spending it would definitely take you longer than an hour to cover the entire place. Stopping into random shops, trying to think of, places that he might go.
I'm not going to spend that much time. I'm going to turn to Gat and say, "Oh, he went off and I can't find him. So I need to keep my promise and make sure that his boss knows about all the information he gave. Let's head back and see if we can't work that into a plan with the rest of the group, maybe as a opening to a distraction. Let's go back to the inn.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a plan.
Making your way back, you find Baron finally wrapping up with Sariel's armor. And the rest of the group just kind of... Quincy, I imagine once you figured that out, would you have done anything else throughout the day, or would you have just head back into the warmth?
Just headed back.
You all make your way back into the tavern. Ogden eventually walks up after performing the act. It's gonna be a long day, I think, but I can't afford to not open up the business, so
That's kind of funny. A long day. When the sky is the way it is.
you get used to it. It's been like this for several
Fortunately.
months.
I don't know if right now is the time for these jokes, Baron.
I think these are the best times for those kinds of jokes.
Sometimes you have to laugh so you don't cry.
Keep the spirits up.
Crying is cathartic.
Ogden
Okay.
reaches out his hand, expecting the key in front of you, Baron. And if you give it to him,
I'll
he
have copied it by the no. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, takes it, and goes and opens up shop, and eventually you start to see patrons filing in, but you're still free to do what you want inside.
I'm gonna walk up to Baron and let him know Bran skipped off. So I need to keep my promise and make sure his boss finds out about all that useful intel he gave us. And considering we're heading after one of his underlings, it might be able to work that into a plan of some sort.
Baron, as you're sitting there putting up the finishing touches on Asariel's gear, in Whimsy standing in front of you talking, you're conveniently facing the direction of the stairs, and as Whimsy's telling you that Bran is skipped out, Bran comes walking down the stairs, sleepy-eyed, wiping his face.
Never mind.
Well, you do what you think is best, Mr. Whimsy. He's your responsibility.
Oh,
And-
when I noticed,
But, you might want to look behind yourself.
Yeah,
Real quick.
He walks.
There's one spot you haven't looked yet.
Yeah, he walks back over and he kind of sits down next to you. And What's the plan for today?
Um, I'll just. I'm not gonna mention the whole. I'll go. Oh, there you are. The I'm gonna mention that the guy that we need to go after and ask him what he knows about him.
Um, talking about the man
Yes, now
with the
talking about
cold
the man he
eyes.
thought I was looking for.
I'll talk over Whimsy and say, why don't you guys go check out the reserve in the back, or maybe go up to one of the rooms while you're going to be discussing something like that. When you
Alright,
filled him
alright.
in, you can meet us back down here, and we'll make our way to Lady Duvessa.
Okay.
I love how we're
I'll,
putting that off until like as late as possible.
uh-huh. We don't respect her.
It
anymore.
was a tough day yesterday.
Is there-
That was our first night here, so
Yeah,
we'll get the momentum going.
I'll bring Bran back to the back room, and I'll fill him in fully about what happened yesterday, because
Whiplash.
he just proved himself. I'll also ask first. I'll ask him where the money ended up.
He managed to prove himself by sleeping in.
As you say that, he just kind of motions whatever room you took him to. He just motions to his room, and I've got it under my bed. I didn't want to leave it out, and didn't want to keep it on my person in case somebody noticed me.
You get a nice meal for yourself last night.
Nice enough, I suppose.
Right. If there's a shot glass around, I'll pour him a little shot and send it to him, and then I'll fill him in fully about what happened.
You don't see a shot glass, but he sees what you're looking for as you've pulled out your 4-pint skin of fire brandy. And he reaches over and sees like a wax candle jar that's melted itself down to nothing, and he just reaches over, grabs it, and you can see a little bit of the residue down at the bottom, but he just kind of looks at you and nods, and as you pour it in, you can see that brandy kind of mixing in with that wax and kind of pulling it up from the bottom, and you can see floaties in this amber liquid, and he doesn't care, just takes the shot, and
after my own heart.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do?
Do you know what do you know about this guy? The weirdo that doesn't need cold weather gear.
He's her best protection, her best bounty hunter. That's even though we steal wares for her to sell, she makes the majority of her money hunting criminals up here. Gives them an ultimatum. Either they can join her group, help her track down more, or they die.
What business do you think he had killing Mum like that?
Maybe she was into some deep stuff. I don't know the lady.
It is true.
You gotta understand, the majority of people that come up here are criminals seeking refuge, a new start, a new life, and unfortunately, sometimes people never fall out of those old ways.
Yeah,
it's more accepted up here for these criminal practices.
All right. Thanks for the info. Let's go get you some breakfast, and I'll fill in Baron about that guy's the main protector, main muscle for Orga is her name, right?
Torga
A lot of
Icebane.
filling in.
Yeah, while they were up doing their thing, filling each other in, Gat would have been somewhat bored, just kind of staying warm, wondering. I would have started looking for like a potted plant.
Okay.
Are there any potted plants in this place? I imagine they don't have a whole lot of house plants, but maybe that's something that nicer places have.
Oh
Um,
no. Are you gonna?
Yeah, with intention of planting and watering a bean. I figured we might be here for a while, maybe it'll sprout, or we'll come back and it will have grown into something. That
Yeah.
was kind of what I was thinking.
give
Or
me a
you can carry it with you and name it Fred.
Where we're going, we don't need friends.
Dear.
Come on, Golden Goose.
Ooh,
All right, let's do a.
These can be kind of crazy, can't they? This is my
they could be way
Yeah.
crazy.
Magic bean time.
All right, yeah. You do find a potted plant. They're kind of scattered around the front main dining area. They look a little worse for wear, not having any sun.
Yeah.
But there is soil in there.
God.
Jared calf that thing.
Let's.
Yeah, I'll plant one bean in it and put a little, sprinkle of water over it.
I swear to God, this internet thing is really frustrating. Like I'm trying to, and it's wild because I'm talking to you guys and I can watch everything, but I type in D&D Beyond, and it's
Do you want me?
taking
Can I
like,
roll?
yeah, if you want to.
And they never got to go see Lady Duvessa.
That popped up on. 23.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
excuse
mean,
me.
you'll have to give me a second to actually get to the site to know.
Oh, I can paste the table as well.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, I'm working with one small screen, but I can do it. Oh, that just rolled again. Do you want me to just tell you what the first one did?
Yeah, sure.
I had rolled a 23. A 23 would an ooh,
That one.
yes, thank you.
Oh.
Oh, this is gonna be oh man.
So he has a personal enemy for the next day.
Yes. Just
But it's
it
immobile.
yes, it's stationary. Just hanging out in the our tavern or inn or whatever you want to call
As you push the seed down into the soil, the pot that it's in just shatters from the outside as you see sprouting up from within quickly this stone turtle likeness or turtle likeness. The stool or like table that it was on, makeshift, the wood furniture, while this place has finer stuff, is not meant to hold that type of weight. As it's continuing to grow up to your full size, it crushes the stool underneath of it and ends up coming face to face with you as you see its stone eyes begin to open, and it's assessing the area of its newly created space.
Yeah, what does it say?
It's your chance. You can insult
Yeah.
Gat as much as you want.
Gosh,
That's a lot to put on the spot.
as it slowly opens its jaw, kind of creaking it side to side, finding its voice. What are you, stupid? planting a bean inside of a house? Don't you know those are supposed to be planted outside? And you call yourself a druid. What a dumbass. And it just continues to be rude to you.
There's like patrons in here now, right? I'm like finishing up the armor, and we just see this happen like in the corner.
Yeah, you know what? There are a couple people. It's not crowded yet, and they turn over and they're looking. And
Giant
Well-
turtle statue next to a giant turtle.
yeah, not
That's
giant,
my,
but because you're what, 5'8", you said? 5 something?
Yeah, like 5'4" or something.
Yeah. But still larger than your normal turtle, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And then it's like, if I could move, I would kick your ass from here to Neverwinter.
That is
5'8".
my cue. I am going to I'm gonna say that's my cue and head over to it and pull out my lute and start playing and start entering
Whimsy.
back and forth with it.
Whimsy,
Oh,
do we have
okay.
time for this? We're supposed to.
Mr.
Maybe-
God, what have you, Mr.
Can't
Whimsy?
let
What are you
an
doing?
Can't let an opportunity like this escape me, and I'm going to start playing, start singing about Gat and all of his wonderful qualities, and asking the statue what he thinks.
It's a rap battle.
Basically, just trying to riff on what the statue's saying and it be entertaining, because like, why not? The opportunity arose.
Oh
It's
God, Baron, you're done, right? We can go. We can go, right?
No, I'm gonna attend to this, Mr. God. What?
I,
There's a
I'm,
statue of you.
I'm sorry, Baron.
What?
Do you remember those beans? They make statues of me.
What?
and
Bean?
and
Those are
he's not
those are no
nice
beans
either.
that I've ever heard of.
If you like, you can have the rest of them.
What would I do with beans that make Ooh, you know that's fine stonework. Huh?
Yeah, wait till it calls you an asshole.
and it
Oh, I
doesn't
see.
Quincy or Whimsy, as you're trying to banter with it, it's ignoring you and just continuing to hound at Gat. Even like it's starting to have a little bit of animation to where its arms are kind of peeling away from the stone, and it like leaning to the side to get beyond Gat. And
Even if it's not like responding to me, I'll do my best at like basically riffing on it and what it's saying. And
give me a performance check.
Baron, do you have a tablecloth or something we can put on it? A bed sheet?
I'm prodding it with my axe and saying, "Hey, hey, are you a wizard?"
It doesn't respond to you, Baron, but Whimsy, with a 27 performance, it cannot help but have its attention drawn to you. Even just for the briefest moment. But it doesn't break its crude nature.
I'm not trying to get it to. I'm just using it as a it's a great opportunity to have a unique performance.
Yeah, and
I just want to be entertaining.
as you're playing there, it turns its head away from Gat and looks over towards you and like reaches out its arm slowly. Come a little closer. Get here and I'll shove that loot up your ass. And then
Actually, I
very
feel like it
rude
would say that
statue,
it would
Mr. Gat.
shove the loot up Gat's ass.
oh yeah, maybe. But yeah, continues to just send profanities in every direction towards
Maybe
Gat.
it's time we leave and go visit Lady Dubas.
If the
I
plan,
I'm just gonna
Done.
leave this
if the
statue.
plan, If the statue at any point tries to get Quincy to attack and/or kill that cat, it's gonna be, you can't afford my rates.
Yeah, it'll have to be once Gat leaves is when he's gonna start really getting after it.
Did I get any tips while I'm up there making this a fun time for everyone?
I don't think so. I think this is weird that, I mean, because you have Gat still standing there, and then Bear, like it looks more like chaos. Like they see you're playing and your playing is beautiful, but it doesn't necessarily seem like a performance so much as it does just there. Yeah. Yeah, basically it seems like an unplanned thing, but
All right, everyone. Now, all right, calm down. All right, these are newcomers. They've come to help us. And this is Mr. Gat, and he was cursed by a wizard in Chult, and that's why this statue appears. Don't pay any heed to the statue. Mr. Gat is a good turtle and a friend.
Can the statue move at all, or is it just there yelling insults?
Mobile.
It's immobile, like it can't like physically walk, but like its upper body still has mobility.
Right.
Try to take one of the broken table legs and like put it in its mouth so it can't talk.
I mean, if you did that, it would just bite through it or pull it out, since it can use its hands to move things, at least for, what is it, the next 24 hours. Baron, give a persuasion check.
Oh, great.
For convincing the patrons that it was as you're saying that, you know, first off, they don't believe you, but secondly, they're now starting to doubt whether or not, like, they're starting to listen more to the statue.
Helping.
But
Sorry, I was just gonna be like covering her ears, guys. Let's just either destroy it or let's go.
Yeah, I'll meet you guys at Lady Devessa's, and I'm gonna get.
I don't know if it's safe for you to go alone.
I mean, he doesn't know the true nature of the statue. Like,
right.
Can I? Yeah. Wait. Do I have a hammer?
After a little bit, I'm going to, before we head over to Devessa, I'm going to go with Bran up and recover my winnings and count it.
I have Mason's tools. Can I try to knock the head off of this statue?
Yeah, I would say, like taking like a chisel and
Sure.
Yeah, I would say that you could do that. Go ahead and give me, I don't know,
Back roll.
no, I want you to give me an intelligence check or like an investigation check, but use your proficiency with your Mason's tools.
Okay. You said investigation?
Yeah, or perception, either one. Basically, what you're looking for is you want one quick blow to a specific spot that you know is going to sever the head of this object.
I'm proficient in perception, so that should
Okay.
go with it.
Looking around,
It's better
trying
than
to
persuasion.
find any weaknesses in this.
All right, you dumb
Getting
statue.
in and eventually just smack a single hit, and the lopped off turtle head just rolls onto the ground, and it becomes like its arms, like mid animation, just frozen, and the turtle head stone no longer talking.
All right. Well, that's that business done with. I'll have no hunks of marble saying bad things about my friends. And I'll wrap up the head and write a hastily scrawled note for Ogden, who's there actually. I guess maybe I'll just like try to talk it through with him, and say we'll try to fix it up, but we have to go.
And he just, no big deal. I mean, you've been to Northlook before. It's, and you remember from Northlook Tavern actually has an animated fish that talks on the wall called Old Bitey, and he constantly spouts out like rude shit to patrons that are walking in, and even takes rare chances to attempt to bite at somebody as they're coming in through the door.
Fun.
Who is this? Sorry.
This
Old
is
Bitey.
yeah, in Northlook, the tavern.
Yeah.
The one where kind of like all the rabble rousers go, right? That is where there is stuffed and mounted on a plaque. Above the hearth in the common room is a battle-scarred knucklehead trout named Old Bitey.
Oh, okay.
Who
Oh, yeah.
pulled
Okay.
many a fisher into the icy depths of Mayor Dualden before he was finally caught.
You ever drunk Bailey's from a shoe?
Yeah. Scramsax, which is the owner, you know him, bought it from the people that caught him and had it stuffed instead. And then years later, a prankster wizard came in and cast a spell on the stuffed fish to where it became a nuisance.
Oh, maybe I
But it-
shouldn't have knocked its head off then. That could have been a fun attraction.
Fun for somebody.
That's true, Mr. Gat. I'm sorry.
It might have been magically linked to Gat and might have knocked his head off and all.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Mr. Gat,
You
are you
never
alright?
do. I remember when you tried to kill Gris.
No, I think I've got a
by
good
throwing
instinct
his
about these
icicle
things.
in the fire. One day you might be wrong. But not today.
Not today.
Alrighty. You all set off to Speaker Duvessa's after talking it over with Ogden?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to try to put the head back on to see if it, depending on how clean a cut it was, to see if it can,
Very clean.
maybe we can try to, it's a nice statue.
That'd be cool.
It's
Maybe
got
Maybe
a
we
couple.
can reconnect it.
It's got a couple. I don't want to say missing pieces, but a couple pieces from when the head slid off and hit the ground. The neck part kind of crumbled, and so it's not a perfect seam around. There's some spots, but you can see the stones that are on the ground. You might be able to find a way to piece it back together, but that's gonna need some like sovereign glue or something something wild to be able to put it back in place. It's not really normal to, I mean, unless you find somebody that has like men's
can-
stone or something like shape stone
Yeah,
or
we
something.
could-
Can I
Wrap some duct tape around it.
no. I was
Or
gonna
like,
say, can I use
we could
magic?
use some mortar maybe, and then like put a scarf around the seam and be a pretty beautiful
uh,
thing.
It says this spell repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, two halves of broken key, or torn cloak.
Oh,
As long as the tear or break is no longer than 1 foot in any dimension, leaving no
Probably.
trace of the former damage.
do a couple of those.
Yeah.
We're talking again.
Yeah, as you place it back on, like I don't think your neck is 1 foot in diameter.
I don't think so, no.
Beefcake turtle walking around.
That's how I imagine him.
Yeah, right. As you place it back on, is that something that you want to do? Do you want to mend it?
I mean, like the idea of having a statue of me in this place is appealing. but if it continues to talk, I will have Baron knock its head off again.
I've
Yeah.
got an image of you. The
I mean-
second it prepared, it just It just right hooks you.
Just cocks his head right off. Just no. As you cast mending, and immediately you can see the magic weaving into the stone and it kind of melding back together, filling in the cracks and gaps of where the stone rubble had fallen off on the floor. It doesn't talk. It still has the same facial expression that it did, kind of an angry, like, type
Nice.
of like shouting at somebody, but it doesn't talk.
Cool.
It looks like you're casting a spell.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, yeah, like I'm about to shoot a fireball.
Yeah.
Ogden kind of nods in approval. I think it'll make a good conversational piece. Just have to clean up the rubble around it now with the broken wood and all, but that'll be minor inconvenience.
Well, should we play to
All
do
we
Vesa?
ask for is a skin of fire brandy for it to keep it here in your shop. Ah,
I'll see what I can do. And he walks back to the back, and he comes out with a much smaller skin. Fills it up and puts the
at least I have
stopper
two
in it.
skins now. Yeah. I have
Um,
water and fire brandy.
I'd say that's a fair trade between the statue and the damage
No,
it caused.
right. I'll give it to Gat. Gat, you have the
Okay.
fire brandy. Was your bean your statue? But I expect to get some of that since I knocked its head off.
Of course,
Saved your good name.
I'll have to think of another use for a statue of me. Maybe we can plant these at every tavern we go to.
Start a business.
Start a business. Everyone will want the turtle statue.
I can work with that.
Just gotta roll 23.
Gats. Gats
How much-
turtle statues by Briarstone.
Nice.
That'd be
Alright.
total anarchy.
how much money do I collect with Bran from his room?
You count it out. At first, when you had it, it's really heavy. There's a lot of silver, copper in there, a few gold pieces. Total, all coins included, you walk away with probably about 75 gold worth.
All right. I'm going to give 10 to Bran. So he make sure he has some money. And I'll probably give out 10 to each of the rest of the group as well. So that's 40 minus 40, right? If everybody adds 10.
Yep.
So I'll add 25 to mine.
Whimsy, what's this for?
Well, I got this by singing about our little group here, so you guys should get a cut. I mean, and the reason I'm doing it is to make sure that we're successful and you're funded, and don't have to worry about gear and the likes. So,
I see. It's like an inspiration, or your inspiration, and so we should get.
Yeah, you're my muse. It's the thanks for letting me watch all those fights without helping at all.
Oh,
By the
so we
way,
each get what, 5 gold or
10.
10? Okay.
did Whimsy tell the group about that guy being about like a bounty hunter as well as a bodyguard?
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine we're gonna hear that on our way over to the vessel.
Well, Quincy's going to say, what if she hires him out to the town to make sure the sacrifices do die. And that would explain how they have such free reign to sell stolen goods in town.
That is a possibility.
But we know they failed on one of them.
Do we?
Maybe.
Don't know that she actually made it safely where she's supposed to go.
Or if she survived when she got there.
Yeah. Oh. I think we might need to ask some hard questions to Devessa. Who knows? Maybe
To
it'll work
Devessa
out.
or Borga?
Devessa and Torga. Maybe it'll work out well and Devessa will admit to hiring a bounty hunter and we can just kill her.
You realize, Whimsy, that if you kill the leader of the town, that makes us criminals.
I can live with that.
I don't know if I can.
Also, what will that achieve? Someone else will take over and continue the work. Nothing
Yeah.
changes.
And it's not going to be me.
I might not continue the work.
No,
Clearly, there's a large enough group in this town that doesn't want to see the killings continued. Otherwise, how would that little operation work out?
But she was
yeah,
elected.
but you, as you pointed out yourself, it's not working out so great. So how widespread can it be?
And that's one tavern owner doing
Yeah.
this.
Aye.
And maybe a handful of others. She was elected into position. Like, the people voted for her.
And besides, she's done right by the people as long as I've known. So this
Till
is
now.
not in the norm. Exactly. So there's either a really good
and
reason why they came
when-
to this decision that we don't know, or something's
She's-
happened to her.
A lot of scared people make really, really desperate decisions. She thinks it's the
Alright.
only way.
Oh,
Also,
I look forward to seeing what she says. Let's just
Also,
say
Whimsy,
that.
you can't argue that what she's doing is wrong when she's trying to kill for the greater good, when you're suggesting killing her for the greater good.
Oh, he's got you there. That's some
Deep logic.
moral mathematics. That
I don't see it.
I don't follow.
I
I don't
mean,
see it.
yeah.
In my case, I'm killing somebody who is actively endangering others. In her case, she's killing people that are not actively endangering others. That's the difference.
But she's doing it to try and keep the rest of the town safe.
They haven't done anything wrong. They aren't a danger to others.
And I imagine you
where I
guys
draw
are
the
having
line.
this argument on the way over.
Yeah, on the way.
Yeah.
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 But Whimsy, I don't know how many times I've heard Barrett and others say that this entire town is a bunch of people that are hiding from their pasts.
Nothing wrong with hiding from your past.
I'm just saying that you're not one to
Every
judge if they've
member
done
of
something
this-
wrong.
No, I am not one to judge if they are currently doing something wrong.
I'm not saying currently. I'm saying in their past. You don't know these people. You don't know what they've done in their past. They could have
don't
made the
care
same
what they-
decision that Deves have made multiple times.
I don't much care about the past. I care about the present and the future.
But do
They-
you? Because what if the sacrifices are preventing this from getting worse?
As
I
you're
highly doubt that.
But you don't have any
Sariel-
proof.
Sariel and
You're
Whimsy,
my
as you're
favorite, Mr.
talking,
Gat. You're my favorite.
as you guys are all having this conversation, walking through the dark, crowded market area of the morning bustle of Bryn Shander, a figure walks kind of right through your group. Like at first, thought they were gonna go right of you, and then just decided to cut right in between, and bumps into Sariel. What's your passive perception, Sariel?
10.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize that I was in your way.
Hey, wait a second.
Can I make a perception roll, because I must know that move.
Yeah,
And I must-
yeah, you absolutely would.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sariel, what, thinking of your character, what are some things that you would have loosely, kind of out and about? Like I know you're bundled in your cold weather gear, but is there anything that you would have out and available that would be readily like, or
Oh,
even
I'd probably have
in
like
your
a holy
pockets?
symbol somewhere that's just kind of available. I do have my arcane focus, which is my rod. Um, Probably have a small pouch with like that sand that I got, the awake sand and the sleep sand.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, seeing that pouch like on your belt, like that as this person bumps into you, attempting to yank it off, that pouch then falls onto the ground. And Quincy, you don't need a massive perception to see what happened. In fact, I would almost give you advantage just because of your history.
All right, now just roll again.
and I'll just apologize profusely for running into this person.
Yeah. Uh
The dice
yeah.
do not like me today.
Yeah,
But
right.
Gat
And
knows.
he's just like, "Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should have went around," and like not even stopping to think about picking up the item, just kind of walks hurriedly in the opposite direction, or
I guess
further away from you.
I will drop down and try to pick up my pouch that dropped. Is as the 2 vials intact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
Oh.
does Bran say anything to me about that? Because he also would know that trick, I assume.
Or maybe he knows that person.
Uh as he sees it happen, you should probably tell your people to start keeping their things more hidden. Keep them inside their pockets or even inside their cold weather gear. You're sticking out like sore thumbs, and some of the criminals
I'm
around
gonna
here
turn to him.
would.
Did he just steal something from her?
And as he peeks his head back, he's like, "Doesn't look like it, or he tried and wasn't successful."
All right. I'll repeat that to the group. Hey, that guy just tried to pickpocket.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's make sure our stuff is secured under our clothes. And I'll move all of my stuff under several layers of cold weather gear. Especially my gold.
And as you're doing that, still heading, kind of Bran keeps looking back to watch where that person was going. Kind of makes a mental note of it. But as you're getting up to the speakers, does anybody want to take a stop for a break for a bathroom? You guys good?
I could use a potty.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, let's take a quick break then.
I'll go.
Right? Yeah, that would work. Oh shoot. Yeah, so let's go ahead and pick back up as your
Dang.
what? You okay?
Oh, just no, it's just too bad he's gone.
Oh.
Alright.
Yeah, I know.
So
We only
you
have an
already
hour left. I mean, we could
That's
stop
true.
now because Whimsy's got to leave by 1 at the thing. We could just cut the session short. If you guys want to do Devessa when we pick up in 2 weeks,
That's up to you guys.
or do you guys want to play for another hour?
I like playing.
Yeah, I
Well,
think we
me
should.
too, but
Yeah, I think we can get away with I think we can get away with this session or this portion. At least do the Duvessa questioning. That way you can get back to the meat and potatoes of the session next time.
Yeah, I like that.
let's be honest. I don't imagine Gat saying that much in the first place.
right, it's like that's kind of why it works. Is because Gad's
Yeah.
not super inclined to care one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as you're walking to the speakers, as you're getting close to the entranceway, you see a dwarven woman. You can see the wrinkles on her face, elderly, but still, you can tell she's strong. She carries herself well. She's walking out the door, closing it behind her. She looks up and gives a nod and quickly scurries around. Whoa.
Is that
Sorry.
Elena Tyrell?
Yeah, right? No, sorry about that. She nods and quickly skirts around you all as you find your way into the speaker's building.
Would I recognize her?
Give a perception check. It's kind of a quick encounter. Where is it at? You wouldn't have had a lot of interaction with her. But you would know her name and just a brief snippet about what she does. Her name is Hlyn, and she is a retired bounty hunter.
Lynn.
Hlin. But as you walk in, and you can hear Duvessa in the back talking to Sheriff Markham, you make your way. Thank you so much for everything you did yesterday. I know it wasn't easy, but I appreciate you being there nonetheless, and you, pointing at Gat, thank you for coming up and verifying the slip for us. It was quite awkward for people to think that I said my own name. It was so odd. The nerves must have gotten the best of me. And Gat just, it was no problem, and returns to being quiet self.
For a second, I thought you were making a crazy sacrifice, like trying to be a martyr, which is usually a very bad idea.
No, I would absolutely abide if my name came up in the drawing, but I knew what I heard and what I read weren't the same. What do you...
Probably just nerves.
I keep thinking about it, and I've only done it a couple times, but I feel like I would know not to say my own name. Do you think that... You know, Baron, we have magic users in our midst. Do you think there could have been Any sort of foul play? Someone that might want me dead?
There was that weird guy who did, you know, the one that doesn't wear cold weather gear. He caught my eye.
Yeah. Cephik is his name. He's part of Torga's group. Actually, just... The woman that was just in here a moment ago had some pretty interesting information. I don't know what you're capable of as a group or what your jurisdiction is for what they're allowing you to do, but...
Isn't that up to you?
I mean, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah,
We're all here to do what's best for the 10 towns. That was Hlyn, right? She's a bounty hunter, but she's been retired for a while now, hasn't she?
Yeah, she mostly uses her instincts for tracking services now, just finding people. There's good money in people that want to know where their family went to the north, and even giving them letters and things from family, and she tracks them down up here. And
anyway, you said she had a bit of interesting information. As we came up here to talk to you about Torga ourselves.
She says she's been tracking Cephik. She said there's been murders, and I've known of these murders, but I didn't really put two and two together. So, Hlyn says that people that are avoiding the ritual, he seeks them out, murders them. At least that's her suspicion. She notices that people only disappear in the cities that he's in. Luckily,
he works for the evil goddess.
It's possible, but I don't know how truthful it is. Luckily, we held our ceremony last night, and I haven't heard any reports of a murder this morning.
Do you know... First off, how did you come to the conclusion again about the human sacrifices? Where'd the idea come from?
It's the speakers of every town got together, and gods are cruel creatures, and sometimes they require you to show a test of loyalty, and oftentimes in sacrifice. And we sacrifice the things that we are good at or have abundance of. For Bryn Shander, we're one of the largest people, or one of the largest cities, and so we sacrifice people. For small fishing towns, they sacrifice their food. Or for the towns that are mainly logging, that provide us with all the wood that we need, they're sacrificing the lumber or heat even.
And that's what she wants? Is that we know that's what she wants?
We don't have a direct communication with the Frostmaiden. It could not even be the Frostmaiden. It could be... Who knows?
There are so many gods out there that would not require this of their followers.
Oh, believe me, we don't worship the Frostmaiden, but, just as people don't worship any other evil deity, they still, I suppose they do have followers, otherwise they wouldn't exist, but it's not... Sometimes you have to appease those evil gods just to get on with your life.
Well, maybe if we guide the people towards a more benevolent deity and start bringing that power up here, that would also help.
So I'm not a religious type, Miss Duvessa. I've just got Miss Sariel here to kind of help me understand these matters, and she's young, but she's been educated, it seems, and I guess I don't understand. So we don't know what this goddess wants, but we're sending people out to die. Little Josephine Baker's daughter, Mum. Just seems random to me.
It is random. We're trying different things, trying to see if any of it will appease her. That's the point.
Is there anything you aren't telling us?
Like what? I'm an open book. I've told you everything that I know.
Insight check.
Same. Can I?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Maybe if you as a leader more establish a religion that is more favorable. I know you guys have the House of the Morning Lord here. You lean into that, he might come and protect you.
What if we got a better god on our side?
Yeah.
Everyone has their own preference. We have a lot of people here in the north that have forsaken religion altogether. Do you think that I could possibly band them together to worship the Morning Lord or any other deity? It's if you're not religious, you're not going to be religious. You can't
You
force that
banded them
upon
together to do the sacrifice thing. I think you have more power than you think you do.
Yeah.
You set an example as a leader. Maybe daily prayers and some religious ceremonies that the whole town could participate. Give them hope.
I don't know, and it might be nice. I'd rather worship a god who'd bring about a clear, sunny sky than this lot all the time.
And she just looks down at her desk and she shakes her head, frustrated. As for your insight checks, you feel that she's been truthful with everything that she's told you, but unless you ask other prying questions, it's going to be difficult to know whether she's hiding anything that you don't know. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Anything about Orga, that group?
Well, we directly about that. I mean, I guess I'll offer up the information. Let's circle around back to this. Back to Torga. We know that Torga's been attacking caravans coming up here, delivering supplies, taking the supplies for herself and selling it. We got attacked ourselves. We
Out with him.
But there's more of them, obviously. I have a feeling you're about to ask about that. If that was under our jurisdiction, if we could take care of it. And truth be told, I don't know. There's only so many of us. She's got a big group.
We can't... Listen. You know the history of the 10 towns as well as I do. Everyone that comes here knows there is a certain level of crime that takes place every day, every town. And that certain level of crime is just something that is tolerated. We don't want it. But we understand that, well, sometimes you just can't take that urge away from the criminal.
What would you do to have it come to an end?
Doesn't sound like she wants it to come to an end, Mr. Whimsy. I mean, these were full caravans being sent up from the south.
Sounds like she doesn't think it can come to an end.
You murder one set of bandits, a new set of bandits are going. There's entirely too much profit to be had in it. And let's think. If I were to hire guards to escort these caravans, where do you think I would get that pool from?
But isn't that what we are?
Our
Yes.
Porga.
Do you have any idea how long I've been petitioning for the South to send some capable, trustworthy folks up here? But let's even take that into consideration. How do I know that there aren't thieves and criminals in your midst? I don't. I'm taking their word for it.
Is that all you do?
Is what all I do.
You just hope for other people to fix your problems instead of doing it yourself. You don't amass a guard, you hope the South will amass a guard for you. You don't try and pull yourself out of this darkness, you hope some higher power will do it for you. Maybe you should try and pull yourself out of the crap hole and do it yourself.
Professor?
I think you misunderstand. I have amassed people that I trust. Sheriff Markham here is somebody that I trust. The town's guards that I have are people that I trust that protect us from outside threats.
Is Porga an effective criminal? Particularly effective.
You mean... Does she steal from the caravans that are coming up north?
Is she a particularly capable criminal? Does her organization work particularly well at doing what it does?
I imagine they're profitable. At the end of the day, what I care about most is that the people of this town and other towns of the north, as I've talked to all my other speakers, have access to those items. Who they get it from is really not of my concern. There are other issues.
And
The hostile Goliaths in the mountains, the
how much
goblins, and
how much does Torga pay you to have that attitude?
none. I don't
Will I
make...
believe her?
You can roll another insight check if you want.
I do want. I believe her.
It's... And for what it's worth, it seems genuine. They're... For the most part, our towns work together. Hold on, let me pull up the map for myself so I don't go butchering names. The food comes in from Tourmaline. The iron and things that we need come from Kelvin's cairn. Like, all of the towns work together to survive. A few criminals... If you even really took a look at the cities that you come from, you would realize that some crimes just aren't worth the effort that it would take to resolve. As long as the cogs and the wheels continue to turn, there's really no reason to intervene.
Why are we here?
More and more people are dying to the elements. Our caravans from the north bringing precious metals are being attacked by goblins and polar bears, and there's dark creatures inhabiting Lonely Wood. All sorts of crazy things that the darkness that we've normally been able to stave off on our own through our own guards, they're becoming more abundant, and it's beyond what we're capable of. We're having to work harder than ever just to be able to forage for food. Even the fish, Mayor Dualden, just don't seem to be biting as much anymore.
So, as I see it, I don't want to step on any toes, but as I see it, killing people as they head north with help, as Torga is doing, is actually hurting the cog that you so just mentioned. Because more people to help means that we can defeat these other evils that are coming out of the woodworks. That's what we're here for. That's why we were conscripted to come up here, is to help. And so I personally think that Torga needs to be stopped one way or the other, and we can leave it in your hands to figure out which way to stop them. But they're killing your workforce. They're killing people that are heading up here with goods and stuff to make a profit. You say that your resource is people. That's what you guys contribute. They're actively working against that. If you'd like, we can go ahead and have a chat with Torga.
Chat.
Sarah, I've got a question for you. Showing my ignorance here to how the whole god thing works. It's never been someone of mine. I presume rituals and worship and praise to your god would make them stronger.
Yes, that's the basic way that it works.
So how do you know these sacrifices to the Frostmaiden aren't just making her stronger, and that's why things are getting worse?
That's
And you're
actually
just-
a really good point Quincy just made.
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
The ways of gods are mysterious and above our standard understanding, but that's why you should focus all of your energies on worshiping a different god, a benevolent god, a god that wants to protect and help you guys grow, not one that wants to tear you down.
You're the one saying these creatures are getting becoming more and more of a threat.
I just mean that as a general statement since the darkness came. I'm not saying since the sacrifices started.
Well, yeah, I assume they came with the darkness, but how do you know these sacrifices aren't just making it worse? Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe take that up with your council. It's a different perspective, a different point of view.
I just might.
I
Really
believe that
cool.
you're a good person. What I've seen of you so far leads me to believe that you are trying your best to make this the best possible of a bad situation. All we want to do is help.
I tell
And
you
Baron
what.
says that you're an amazing leader, so.
I will call a separate town meeting this evening with all of my guards, and I'll talk to, and she nods off to the right, Sheriff Markham here, and see if we can't muster together our own group of escorts. You know, Barrand used to help with the escorts, and Grist used to help with escorts, and our goods seemed to make it here safely then. But it's been different.
You just can't let Torga continue this way, because that gives ideas to other people who want to do something similar or the same.
Find some damning evidence.
Okay.
Bring it to me.
Oh, you're cutting out.
I am?
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not it's... Am I still cutting out as I'm talking?
A little
Like-
bit.
Just not much, though.
Let me run a packet loss test.
That'll make it better. When she says that she's going to get together a group, I want to particularly take note of how the sheriff reacts to that. See if he thinks, if that's something that,
Like he rolls his eyes, or he's all like, okay, sure.
or if he's like worried.
As you kind of look over to Sheriff Markham, he looks down to her as she's sitting, and he nods to her. And give me an insight check to see if you can read his emotions.
Oh.
It seems in his position, you're meant to be able to reaffirm and look like a strong leader, a strong presence. And so it's difficult to tell if he's just putting on a show for the crowd, or if he genuinely believes that it'll be a good idea. Find some evidence against Torga. Bring it to me. And we'll expose her to the town. We'll hold a public trial. And if the town sees fit, then the crime will be fitting, or the punishment will be fitting.
Baron's been kind of looking at the ground, red-faced, for a lot of this. But then he'll look up. Earlier, you were asking about what falls under our jurisdiction. Was there something else you were going to ask us that has to do with this Cephalic character in particular? You said there's murders happening by his hand.
Suspected. Helen said that she has been following the caravan for, well, a while now, from town to town. And she says that the murders are only happening in the towns that Torga's caravan's in. And she just says that Cephalic fellow just too odd to not draw attention.
He's not trying to be inconspicuous for sure.
Well, maybe we can kill two birds with one stone, find the evidence that you need. Although we do have a witness, a former. Well, that's up to you, Mr. Whimsy.
I mean, we do have evidence.
We would testimony from a former employee be enough evidence?
I suppose.
Would this testimony be enough to grant immunity to that employee's crimes?
I mean, and she kind of chuckles. You have to. Yes, I suppose it would. Again, I can't speak for everyone, but from a government official level, I would say that I will not pursue any action against the person.
I'm gonna look over to the sheriff. What about you?
Well, I suppose as long as he was the lesser of the two evils, could probably make an exception.
Would
I mean,
it be
there's been-
enough?
Probably best to get some of the goods. Maybe we could go back to that. Did we pick anything up from that place? I can't remember.
Beans.
Oh yeah, it's just the beans.
Yeah. We'd have to get some unique items. It'd have to be something that they knew was coming, that's unique to a certain caravan that didn't make it. It's the only way to do that if we get any goods. And I don't know of anything. I don't know if she'd be dumb enough to try to resell something unique.
I know a shop that's been hit.
Get a
We could
list
have-
of items.
Well, it sounds like we've got our work cut out for us. We can take some time to scope it out and figure out the best way to go about this. Maybe corner that Cephik somehow.
And you wanted him taken care of, right?
Well, he'd be taken care of with Torga as part of her entourage.
I would prefer... If you do anything on your own, you better make damn sure that they deserve it. That's all I have for you. Was there anything that you wanted to...
Clarifying. When you say make sure they deserve it, is that something where you take my word for it that I saw them doing something where they did deserve it, or would I need to get evidence?
Just... I trust you all. You were sent here to do a job. If you see something that's worthy of the ultimate punishment, just use your best judgment. If you can capture them without killing, that is most preferable. But as long as the threat is taken care of, it's good enough for me.
And just one more question, completely not related to everything. Have you ever met or know of a Macretus?
I can't say that I have. But then again, I write down so many names and I don't have tracking of every coming and going in the town.
Oh, I don't believe he lives in town. He lives north.
Oh. I definitely wouldn't know him then.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Should we go talk to Hlyn about maybe some more information about these murders, or do you have any information that we can go off of?
Oh, shoot. We don't want that.
We're not fighting?
The
No,
dragon
we're not.
shrieks in the sky before it swoops down and
No. Yes, you can talk to Helen if you wish. That'd probably be a good place to start. She's probably going to be staying at Northlook. That's where she feels most comfortable. Well, they're past
All
it
right.
all.
Okay.
Is there anything else you need from me? Was there anything... Did you see anything interesting happening during the ceremony?
Just the name
Your
mixed up.
name was a pretty crazy thing.
And Cephik was strange,
Okay.
muttering to himself.
Yeah, if you don't need anything from me, I think I'm going to call it a day early today and go home and take care
We
of my
got that
daughter.
meeting. We got that meeting tonight, right?
Tonight, yes. So I will be working later, but
A little break in the middle of the day is always nice.
It was a tough day yesterday.
I'm proud of you. I think you're making the right decision. And I must admit, I misjudged you at first. I can see you're struggling, and I believe you'll do the right thing. And I'm going to grant her inspiration.
nice. And she just looks at you and nods and
It's gonna be
Thank
the
you.
best nap she's ever had. It'll be good for
Means-
3 minutes.
Inspired
Thanks a lot.
nap.
Yeah.
It's, all right. Best of luck to you. Report back with any findings. She stands up and kind of starts gathering some of the papers that you see on the desk and opening up her drawers and putting them in there before locking. She walks off to the side and is talking to Sheriff Markham a little bit. What do the rest of you
Well,
do?
gang, it's time to run an operation.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put our heads together for this one.
Obviously, I'll talk to Bran, see how he feels about if we get some other evidence about him also.
Did he wait
Yeah.
outside or something again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't say that, but it's what we did last time, so I
Yeah.
Alrighty. Stepping back outside and catching Bran just leaning up against a building nearby. So, how'd it go?
I'm gonna fill him in.
Then
No
when you're done
way.
beating them up,
Absolutely not. I don't trust. I don't trust him.
Understandable. It's not necessarily necessary. Is there a particular reason you don't trust the sheriff? Or
Well,
is it
Lindsay, he's a criminal, and the other guy's a sheriff.
he
Obviously,
was
it's
a criminal?
oil and water.
Hmm.
Not sure he's ever done No
It's
offense, but if you've never done the right thing in your life, you don't know how good it feels.
He has done the right thing in his life. He's done the right thing a couple of times now.
believe it or not, politicians and criminals are often cut from the same cloth.
I believe that 100%. That makes perfect sense.
Lying, stealing, doing whatever it takes to get the task done is often not above them.
You have any specifics for either Duvessa or the sheriff to share?
As far as what they've done, that's been not really, no.
Okay.
Just my general
Fair.
distrust for if they say they would offer me
They didn't promise to offer you anything. All they said is they wouldn't pursue it against you.
Yeah. Which is,
yeah,
it's
I'll,
like I
I'll
said.
help you in any way that I can, but I'm not going to put my own face and name into giving them information.
It's understandable. There's more than one course of action here, and it certainly won't be necessary if we find a smoking gun, and so
I know what now.
smoking body,
Smoking Han.
a smoking body.
Guns do exist in favor.
Okay. Sorry.
Clockwork contraptions. It's very
I'm
rare,
sorry.
but they do
It's
have them.
way over my
Translate
ranger's head.
Translate from English to common.
Cut from the same cloth. Is that like linen or?
Okay.
Anyways,
yeah.
what do you guys do?
Let's
I guess we're
go
gonna
talk
go
to
talk-
Lynn.
Yeah.
Actually, while you guys do that, do you have any ideas about where we might find some evidence, Bran?
Against Torga? I mean, outside of finding a transactions list or
You know where she
basically
might keep those.
on her person. She
Transactions list.
she keeps a journal of all her interactions, the comings and goings of her inventory. That itself is kind of incriminating.
Maybe Valis would have. He's kind of a transactionless kind of person. Maybe he'd have some good insight on this.
Where does she keep the bulk of her stuff?
It's always in her caravan. Normally when she starts, she's heaped full, and when she's done, that's when when she's getting close to finish, she sends out another troop to get more goods.
So you said that her inventory list is going to be on her person.
Yes. Yeah, she keeps it in a book.
Do you know her routine, like where she lives and
Anytime she'd be alone.
or at least close to alone as possible?
Well, that's going to be part of our operation, I'd assume. I mean, you might have some insights on there, Mr. Brand, but we can keep an eye out, scope it out.
You don't have to join us on any of this stuff. It's just the more information we have going into it, the safer we're going to be.
She's almost always accompanied by some form of guard, whether it's Cephik or whoever else.
Do you know what Cephik is?
He's told different tales. Story of a druid pulling him out, found a drowned baby, and locked in a shear. Pulled him out and nursed him back to health, and He's had that affliction ever since. But
He's
just rumors.
he's a magic user, right?
I've never seen him use magic. He's
Mr.
Is
God, have you ever pulled any babies out of any lakes? Have you ever saved any babies rather than killed them?
Maybe it's like a balance in the universe. One druid save babies, so the other one has to kill them.
Probably.
I
Makes more
can't
sense.
say that I have. The jungles of Chult where the rivers move pretty fast and there aren't very many lakes. I think if there was a baby in there, it would probably be out to the sea by then, wouldn't be in there for long.
Right. Well, I hope you don't feel bad still about that, because this druid made a mistake in saving this baby, it seems.
Human life is different than the evil nature of a Yeti.
Agreed. He's a human, though, right? He is a human.
As far as I'm aware, I'm
Does he have a special trinket, necklace, amulet, or something that he always carries, or maybe a pouch with some weird stuff in it?
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I was always kind of afraid of the guy.
That's fair.
You know, when he's
a
the
weirdo.
boss's right-hand man, it's you don't want to be caught staring for too long, you know what I mean?
I understand.
He was
I've got
pretty flashy with the blade. I know that he knew how to use it well. But go ahead.
I've got one last question for you. Where are you telling me that the stock stays on the caravan all the time? Does she not have a warehouse to store it in at the end of the day?
Oh, normally well, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that Scramsax is in on it, but he often rents out his stables for her to keep her wares.
Well, there's our lead.
And that's the same guy at the North Look, which we're heading anyway, right?
Yes.
No.
Northlook's where as a DM, you remember that Northlook is where Helene was going to be staying. That's where she's most comfortable, where a lot of the shady individuals stay. Yeah, there's a stable separate from the building, but it's bigger. They don't have to unload it like the other people with their market do at those little tiny buildings in the south edge of town. They have to carry it all the time. They can just keep it right on their wagon.
Right. IWDPF. Let's head out to Northlook.
What?
Icewind Dale Protection Force.
Oh, that's a terrible name. That's a terrible.
I thought, who came up with it? I thought it was you.
No.
Brian.
Yeah, weren't you singing about it in all the songs? You should probably add that in.
The Humblestone Hero.
Miss Serial. I'm gonna put an arm around Serial as I start walking off in the direction of Northlook. And this, not so old dwarf's life. There's been a few profound moments, I have to say. It was a very humbling, profound one. listening to. I'm about her. What? How tall are you?
I'm like 5'1".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a humbling and profound one here, and you speak to Lady Devessa in there today. I'm
Just trying
proud
to
of you.
help. I mean, Quincy had the best point.
Did he?
You know, they could be
Well,
making that stronger.
but that's coming from a master wizard and assassin. It's much more profound and humbling when it comes from a little
Oh.
bitty child that wants to go run off in the cold and kill herself. So
Oh, thanks, Baron.
very
Thanks.
proud of you.
Well, I think we should definitely stop this lady. She sounds like bad trouble.
I
Alrighty. Walking towards Northlook, if you could imagine, it's on the north side of town, directly next to the gate. As you get closer, still dark with just fires lighting the way, the wind sweeping in as you're walking down the long path towards the gate. The gates are opening and closing. It allows the draft from the outside to just come pushing in, blowing snow into your face. You can start to hear the rowdiness. You know it's the morning, but you get a feeling that this tavern never really settles. And that's where we'll pick up next time.